Go ahead. Hold this. You guys should be able to hear me better now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and record this. It is Wednesday, September 30th. Welcome to another live trading session with Forex League. So these sessions we do almost every single day, nearly every day, at 8 a.m. EST. We are in New Jersey in the U.S., so it is 8 a.m. over here. And yeah, welcome. So just drop in the chat where you guys are calling in from. We're giving people a minute to get started. I see Bradley's back. What's up, man? What's going on? We got, hold on one second. Let's get this chat up. What's up, Michelle? What's up, Jad? What's up, Lee? Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to get started. Nick's going to hop on a little bit later today, and we're going to pretty much get right into it. So if you guys have any questions, feel free just to put it in the chat. As always, we're here for you guys. So you guys ask any questions. If you want to see any additional pairs, let us know at the end if we have time. We will cover them. Just give me 1 second. We got Nick joining up right now. Got some other people too. Just give me 1 second, guys. All right, so we got Nick in here. I'm gonna unmute him. What's going on, Nick?
You.
What's up? What's up? All right, so I'm just gonna pretty much get into it. We're gonna get started with DXY. So DXY is pushing up a little bit. We're gonna bump all the way up to the weekly time frame. So we're gonna cover, just as always, guys, top-down analysis, look for potential entries, show you guys some fibs, talk about our key levels and market structure. So let's get into it here. DXY dollar index, for you guys that don't know, it's just the value of the US dollar. So we use this, obviously we're trading a lot of the major pairs here. So we use this just to see the strength of the dollar in relation to all of these pairs. They correlate pretty well with this. So it's something definitely very useful. So right now we could see DXY had a big fall off, but a lot of buyers just stepped in recently. So we just popped up above this monthly level right here. And this month we're seeing some rejection. So as I come down to the daily, and this is what I'll do. This is top-down analysis. You just start on a higher time frame, work your way down to the lower time frame. So on this daily time frame, we can clearly see we made this high. Now we pulled back. We're retesting this monthly level. Right here, we're finding some support. As you can see, buyers are kicking in. Moving averages are still bullish. As I go down to the lower time frame, 4 hour time frame is clearly in an uptrend, made this new high, pulled back right now. Now we're finding those buyers. And why we're saying that this could potentially be a higher low is because of this monthly level. So it's because of this level of support, this key level that we placed previously. So as I bump back up here, if we do find support here, where are our targets? We can see that we have this 618. So we're in this retracement, but we're within this retracement, we're obviously forming some bullish structure. So overall, we have this previous lower high all the way up here. But right now, we're finding some support. We're forming higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame. So we're going to ride this into these major resistance levels. So right now in DXY, we're targeting find support here, targeting the 618 level. And yeah, we'll see if this thing can push up.
Yep, definitely looking good right now. It's got that momentum. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely got some momentum. And by that, we mean like as we bump down to this 1 hour time frame, we're coming on this 200-day. We just hit that level. And then a lot of buyers stepped in, found support there. Down even to the lowest time frame, 30-minute. Right now, a significant level is going to be up here. It's going to be this level. Why did I place that? It's just that we have some lower highs here. So we have this lower high here. Then we have this minor lower high here. We also got the 200 there. So we really need to pop above this level to start to get higher. So we can just map that out. We're going to look for get to find some support right here at this level. So yeah, we're going to continue to monitor this, see if it continues to push up. But with it in mind that USD is pretty bullish at the moment, let's pop over to GU and let's look at this first. So GU, let's start on the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, let's just clear this up a little bit. We have these highs right here, retested this monthly level 1, 2, 3 times, and then continued to fall off. So at the moment, we have a lot of sellers in the market. So sellers came in, buyers tried to come back in, struggled, maintained below the 200-day right here. And then we had this bearish engulfing last week. So we just want to continue to break these candles down more and more. So daily time frame, again, we're just looking at this area right now, very bearish. We had this lower high form here. We're still below the moving averages. So we want to break this down even a bit further. And now down to the 4-hour, we've got this lower high here, lower low. And then basically what we're looking at is we're looking for this to continue to the downside. We just hit 61.8, had a lot of indecision at this level. And as we go down to the lower time frame, guys, this is what we were waiting for. We have this like rectangle, these highs and these lows formed. It was just consolidating. So price was consolidating all within this range. We weren't taking trades in there. We were waiting for it to break out in either direction. So it finally started to break out to the downside. So it broke this low right here. First test was right there, a lot of rejection. Then we came back up. And on a 30-minute, we had a retest again, large wick, bearish engulfing candle right there. So this thing showed us really everything we needed to support that sellers stepped into the market. So we're trying to ride this momentum now down into these lower levels. And even though we take entries on the lower time frame, let's get this. Even though we take entries on the lower time frame, guys, we are targeting the 4-hour. So 4-hour time frame. This is where the fibs are overall. We have this weekly level here, so we're going to see how it tests this level first. Right around there is when we'll move stops to break even. And then, ultimately we're targeting the 0% level and even lower. I mean, on this daily time frame, it's got to break this. This is definitely a key level here. But if we do continue to maintain this, we got the -2.7, -618 all the way down there. So we'll use our higher time frame levels to continue to maintain the order. So GU definitely looking bearish on this right now. And, if you want to enter on this, stops are going to be right above this level, 128.750. And yeah, confirmations are definitely there. So GU's lining up well. Let's bump over to UCAD. Let's go up to the weekly time frame. So weekly time frame, boom. So we have this huge push and then this pullback right here. And we had a lot of buyers step in. So 3 bullish candles in a row right here. A lot of buyers stepping into the market. We are hitting a resistance level though. We're hitting a resistance level right here as we cycle down time frames, this daily time frame. We are still in a downtrend. We had this low made. Now we're pushing up a little bit. Buyers are in the market at the moment. As I said, a lot of buyers are stepping in. But we need to see as I come down to the 4-hour, obviously still bullish, still very bullish, but this is what we need to see right now. We need this to break above this level. This thing needs to break above. We had this trend line that was broken, retested, rejected again. So we need to still break back above this level right now. As you can see at the moment, we're down here. So let's put together a little trade path. We had this higher low that was made right here. Boom. And this is the 1-hour. So this is good enough confirmation for us. We either need to see it break back above here to get long on this right here. Let's get this trend line. Let's adjust this a little bit. So we either need to wait and see, this thing needs to pop up and we'll wait for the retest. And again, it doesn't need to hit the random line. All it needs to do is we need a pullback. We need some sort of pullback rejection in this area. It could be up here. If it's all the way up here, we'll wait even more. It could be here, could be here, could be here, could be right there. It just can't break all the way back into the zone. It needs to maintain above this random line. So We're going to wait for the break, retest, and then we're going to enter. On UCAD, to the flip side, if this thing does start to continue to break this level right here, this is when we're going to look for sells. Right there. So if this breaks support right here, finds resistance right there, then we're going to look to short the market right there. So again, any questions, guys, put in the chat. I know someone just said, please, how do you draw fibs? We could do little lesson in fibs. You draw fibs, and this is an uptrend. So you're going to draw it from the previous high or low right here. So this is when the trend starts. Obviously starts to push up to the upside, start fibs here. Put it on the last bullish candle in this push right there. And then you have all this. You have all this happening. For you beginners out there, just quick little lesson. If you're confused, take off all your moving averages. Don't take off that yet. But you can come on here, and a little exercise that we do is just draw out structure, guys. Draw it out with your path tool. Just go like this. And then you can go ahead, hide these candles. We've got our fibs on here. Now we see what's going on. We had this high form, pulled back, hit 618, came up, hit 50% level twice, came up, hit this level, which is not exactly a high or low. You know, this is a very minor level. More ideally, we need to break this level right here. But we got this monthly key level right there. But if you guys are struggling with how to draw fibs and then how to look at structure, just do this little simple exercise. Use your path tool, draw it out, and then hide the candles, and it'll clear things up for you a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead, take this off because I want to see everything on my chart. So those are two scenarios we're looking at for UCAD. Let's get into, we just did GU. Let's get into NU. Boom. So NU, let's bump up to the weekly time frame. So NU on the weekly time frame, very bearish, hit this high 3 times, huge bearish engulfing candle, starting to move below these moving averages right here. Now let's just continue to break this down to a lower time frame. Daily time frame, right here on the daily, we broke support right there. So now we're retesting that level. And then we can break this down even further. So as we go down to the 4 hour now, 4 hour time frame, obviously broke support there. I brought on my fib, again, fibs from our high where the push started to our low, and then we just retested 38.2 right there on this 4 hour time frame. So a couple confirmations here on the 4 hour. We've got 38.2, we've got resistance, and now we've got some bearish variations right there. So we can break this down to the 30-minute. So 30-minute is where I was looking for this to break. So we had a little break here. Now we're pulling back. We need to find solid resistance here. Ideally, the moving averages cross again, and then we're going to short this. So NU, definitely looking to short this pair unless it just breaks all the way above this level right now. So this is the situation we're looking at in NU. Let's go over to USEF. And these two pairs, USEF and EU, are kind of overextended at the moment. We need to kind of redo the analysis. So we're going to do that right now. So let's bump all the way up to the monthly. So monthly time frame, we have this bullish engulfing right here forming on the monthly. We're still below the moving averages, still overall, obviously, still bearish. A lot of sellers still in the market, but we need to break down this further, this little transition going on. Coming down to the weekly time frame, large bullish candle last week, but it came up to this resistance level. So that's why we were shorting this earlier in the week. But let's break this down again a little bit further down to the daily. So daily time frame is actually starting to transition, form this high. Now we're coming back, finding support here. So pretty much the next scenario or the next trade opportunity that I'm looking at with USEF is I'm looking to push pretty much back up into this zone right now. We're finding support here. As I come down to the 30-minute time frame, what would support that a little bit more is we need to get all the way above this level. So we need to get all the way above this level, and we need to go like this. We're going to buy right here Once this breaks above, does a little bit of retest. And again, doesn't need to actually hit our random line. It just needs to get above this level and then form some sort of pullback. So this is USEF looking for this to push up and then find support and go higher. And all this analysis, guys, that we do in the live session is, again, going to be dropped in the premium analysis section in here. I updated it earlier today. So as me and Nick are looking for trades a little bit more closely, we'll drop the analysis in here. And if you guys want to get in that, I'll talk about at the end of the session what you guys need to do. So EU, let's move on with this pair. Weekly time frame. Earlier or a couple weeks ago, we retested this random line right here all the way at the top, wicked it, and then had this huge fall off, bearish candle. And at the moment, we're retesting this weekly key level right here. So this is resistance. This is acting as resistance at the moment. And then we just need to break this down further. So let's look at this on the daily first.
It looks so good.
Yeah, daily time frame broke below this level right here. Boom. So we have this level of support, now turn resistance. 4-hour time frame broke below this low. And we'll see if this thing starts trending now. It's gonna move to the downside. It's gonna move aggressively. Down to the 4-hour time frame, we have again fibs from our previous lower high to our low. Now we're retesting 50% level. We just got a variation here, an evening star. If we kind of put all these together, and if we want to break that down further, just hit the lower time frame. And the thing about the lower time frame right now is that this was just a large overextended move to the upside. We need to see some consolidation and then really a break right here. Right now, this is just retracing on the 30-minute right now. This thing could just retrace all the way down, continue lower and lower right below the moving averages. But in order for us to actually take a trade right now, we need to see a lower high. According to our rules, we need to see some sort of lower high, and then that's when we're going to take our trade. So this thing needs to pull back for us a little bit, confirm that sellers are in control. So we're looking for it to pull back, even the slightest bit, guys, even the slightest bit, and then we'll look to short this. So that's EU, looking to go short on this. Last but not least, I'm going to cover EBP JPY. Let's go over, let's bump up to the weekly time frame. So weekly time frame, we are overall very bearish. Last week formed this little wick here, or this big wick here, right at this weekly key level. We just need to go down time frames right now. Weekly time frame, just kind of one look. Monthly and weekly time frame, one look. See where the momentum is. Right now, we had formed this high. We pulled back. We hit support at this weekly level, but it still does look like there's sellers in the market. But let's just break this down a little bit further. So daily time frame, guys, we have this pullback, made this high, pulling back now. We're below the 200-day, below the red. We're fighting right now. We're fighting at this level. This is a very critical point that we're at right now. As we come down to the 4-hour, this is 4-hour structure. So we need to break this level in order to get bullish. Once we break this level, guys, we'll look for buys. As long as we're below this level, we're looking for sells. So that's very important. Coming down to the 1-hour time frame, and even we could break this down a little bit further down to the 30-minute time frame. So coming down to this time frame, we needed to break below this random line right here. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit, put this right here. We needed to break there. We did, broke. Now we're retesting. And pretty much we need to see now some rejection. So much like this. So we broke below. Now we need to see a lower high form. And what does that mean? We need to see some sort of cross through the moving averages. So we need to break back below this level, and then we'll look for short opportunities. So that's GJ. Just to recap for you guys, I did GJ, GU, UCAD, NU, USEF, and EU. If you have any questions, drop in the chat. I'm going to pass this over to Nick. But first, if you guys want the giveaway as well, just put in the chat your Discord name, and you guys will be entered in the giveaway.
Perfect. 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 Good analysis, Angelo. Yeah, GJ needs a little bit more movement to
Yeah.
decide where it's going. But yeah, there are some good ones in there, guys. EU probably being one of the better prospects. But yeah, looking good, looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just share up here.
Here, go ahead. Share.
Sharing is caring. All right, here we go.
There we go.
On to DXY. Just a quick recap. Just going over these two scenarios to refresh before we get into these majors again. So yeah, daily time frame bearish, 4 hour. We broke major support at this monthly. Then we had consolidation, kind of like a descending channel here. Then we got this flag, little rally to the upside to form true structure. So we got past the 38.2 minimum. Great sign. Now we're looking like we're reversing pretty much from this monthly zone. Little push to the downside, just testing broken resistance as support. So this could easily continue higher, right? Nice little lower time frame transition to confirm that, which would be this right here, right? Little break above minor resistance, higher low above, continuation back up to this monthly, or it falls back down. Look for lower highs below this zone, key support right here at 94 area. All right, but yeah, two ways it could go. Definitely bullish on the 4 hour, bearish on the daily. Let's move on to AU. All right, good little refresher. All right, so AU is looking absolutely awesome right now. Let's go to the daily time frame real quick. All right, so daily time frame is bullish right now. All this price action, right? Clearly very strong bullish trend. We broke key resistance at this monthly zone back in July, which helped transition this into a major bullish trend on the daily time frame. So yeah, definitely bullish right now overall. But let's go ahead and drop to the 4 hour and take a look at what's going on here. So 4 hour, we're more in a bearish trend, right? Because we broke all these higher lows. So like if we did just highlight this in terms of like a channel or something like this, right? You can clearly see that this channel has been broken, right? All like a lot of these higher lows, price action blew past it. And that's exactly what we saw here, right? We saw lower highs, price action blew through this channel, major support levels, all these higher lows, continued down to this monthly zone at 0705. Found a little bit of a double bottom, pulled back through the MAs, nice retracement to the 61.8 to form structure. So let's say this continues, guys. If we're looking to enter on a continuation of this, bearish trend here, we would be looking to short at the 61.8 or 38.2 minimum. So the fact that we're seeing a lot of consolidation, some rejection, some exhaustion off this structure level is perfect. It means that we could potentially be gearing up for a really nice trade. So let's go ahead and drop down one more time frame. And this is like a 1 hour head and shoulders. You guys see this? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Let me just draw this neckline in. Pretty much like that. We just make sure this is a little more accurate. Okay, there we go. Get rid of this. So what we want to, our entry is going to take place right here, guys. You see rejection off this 200 again. Entering on any lower high below the neckline, target towards the prior low, and then obviously lower towards negative fib levels. Play it into that 4 hour. This would be absolutely perfect. I'll even give you guys a little trade setup, what it could look like towards the prior low. Looking about 90 pips. Stop loss would be just about here outside of key resistance, 45 or so, right? 2 to 1, great trade. Playing into a nice continuation. So let's go back to the 4 hour, see if our targets line up. Right, so this is target 1. This prior low is target number 1. So if we do break this monthly, this thing could drop significantly. We'll see how it reacts down here at the zone again. But yeah, if it breaks, guys, this thing could drop a good amount. We actually even go to the daily for a second. So let's see how far back or how far this could drop, right? That's what we really want to see. Definitely down towards the 200 at least, right? So there's a minor level right here. Somewhere between the negative 27 and the 200 EMA. Let's see if this makes sense. Yep. Okay. So that's one way you could find targets. I mean, Angelo said it when he was analyzing, jump up to the 4 hour or higher time frame stuff to choose a target. right? Because we're always looking to play it into that overall move because we're trend trading anyway. So this is a 4-hour move, right? This is a significant move. It only makes sense to choose a 4-hour target. I'm not going to enter on a 4-hour pullback and then go down to the 15-minute and choose, a 10 pip take profit. So, you have to make sure it makes sense. The trade has to make sense. So this is very likely. If we do get the transition, the continuation, and this does drop, this target is very, very reasonable, right? 170. And then you can even crank the stop loss up a little bit more, make it a little more safe. 55 pips to get 170 roughly. Really, really good trade. So yeah, we'll be watching this one, guys. Pretty much just need to see that head and shoulders on the 1-hour. Whoops. Head and shoulders on the 1-hour break. Okay. Now this also shares an inverse correlation with DXY. If DXY continues to surge higher, you'll see AU drop. Right. So, but we saw this little pullback, this little bullish pullback here happen because DXY dropped. Okay. Inversely correlated. Just like GU and AU are correlated. NU, AU correlated. EU, GU, AU, all relatively correlated. All right. So this is AU. Keep you guys updated on this one. Let me go back to the 4-hour. Let's move on to our next one, AJ, which is going to look pretty similar. We know to expect that. Let's go right to AJ. Yeah, looking pretty similar. A little more dramatic in the sense of, it just broke back above resistance. But let's just start at the daily time frame. This one is just insane. Super huge bearish channel, guys. That is the trend in this daily time frame. There's no questions about it. Just bearish all around. All right, but this 4-hour trend here, very large 4-hour trend, 4-hour pullback after Corona, was very, very bullish, right? But then we got this massive ascending wedge pattern that kind of reversed at this monthly zone, this upper trend line of that daily channel. So let's go right to the 4-hour and see what we could find, what kind of trade scenarios we could see here. All right, so here's that wedge, right? Weakening of the trend, even though the volume there is gigantic. One of the biggest wedges I've seen probably. And trend weakened, formed its last high around 78. Reversed, broke major support levels, ranged for a little while, broke some higher lows. Nice transition right here. Break, retest, dumped. And, kind of erased all these higher lows. It broke all these higher lows. And it kind of established a new low down here around 74 flat. Nice psychological level, good support. But now it's pulling back. Now it's retracing. Right? It's trying to find some ground to either continue or pull back. So, right now we are at the 61.8. It's looking like a continuation. I think at max, this thing could pull back to the monthly 200 EMA before reversing. Right? But either way, you really want to see a break of a higher low. Like, no matter what, you really want to see a break of a higher low to enter on. Okay, so let me just draw this in. I'll show you guys a trade path just like this. All right, so let's say it reverses right here to 61.8, right? Definitely possible, more than likely. Look to get below major support, enter on a lower high, target lower towards negative fib levels, so on. Yeah, this would be perfect. I like this little pocket of confluence right here. If this thing broke lower, right, we'd cross through the MAs, that's a confirmation. We'd blow through support, that's a confirmation. We'd retest, confirm a lower high, that's a confirmation. Enter on a bearish engulfing, bearish setups, and target lower. All right, give me 1 second here. Let me grab a tissue.
So if you guys haven't put in the chat your Discord name, just put it in there if you want to enter in on the giveaway. If you guys aren't in the Discord, just ask. If you guys aren't in there, I'll drop the link in there. We don't cover indexes because we don't trade the indexes, to be completely honest with you. We've looked at US 30 in the past. We haven't looked at DAX much, but yeah, we don't cover them because we don't trade them. Any current?
Stay away from indexes because
Yeah,
we like,
definitely
especially
watching GU right now, Brian. Gonna enter
I
two
think it's
ten.
also a lot like we try to keep these webinars pretty simple and just try and stay on currency pairs. We'll throw gold in. That's pretty much the only wild card. But I mean, if we do US 30 and like all these indices and stuff, it gets a little hairy and doesn't promote great risk reward. So we've noticed this is definitely the best approach for these webinars. Just keep it simple on currency pairs. But anyway, so we're looking to short here. Definitely any 4-hour bearish trend on AJ lines up with AU as we saw. So yeah, perfect entry would be right here. Tons of confirmation, tons of confluence, entering on a lower high below 75 flat. All right, let's go to the daily time frame, see if it kind of lines up, see how far this could drop. So this would be our first target, the negative 27, right between the negative 27 and 73 flat. Okay, that's what we're looking to go. This is our first target in here. And then obviously, guys, the same rules apply. Once we get to this major zone, we're looking for the same thing, break or bounce. And if it does break, you're still looking to enter on a lower high. Same exact thing, you'll just be playing it into a larger move at that point. And then we'll target lower towards the weekly, all the way down here at 70, potentially. So we'll see how it reacts. Definitely bearish as hell, though, guys. This fall off was massive. So we'll kind of see how it reacts. All right, so let me go to the 1 hour real quick on AJ. Yeah, so very similar to that head and shoulders we saw on AU. Bit of consolidation right now, trying to gain some ground. We'll see how this works. Keeps going higher, keeps surging higher, or if it breaks this monthly zone. All right, cool. Let's move on to UJ here. UJ is looking really good too. Again, super influenced by DXY. Let's go to the daily time frame. This is just bearish across the board. It's pretty easy to see. Don't really have to go back too far. However, we are in this descending triangle pattern right at our monthly zone at 106. So this is very interesting. Let's go right to the 4 hour and see. Here's that triangle pattern. So I say this pattern is interesting because the way it's forming on this monthly zone, it's literally just like the average of this pattern is right at 106. It's just bouncing around 106. Can't really get any conviction. But we did see a break of the pattern. A huge fall off happened here. Got a double top, lower high, dropped, and yeah. All right, so it dropped and broke this pattern. Found a new low at around 104. Oh my God, these allergies are killing me. All right, so we broke out of the pattern, hit 104, and pulled back. Unfortunately, we pulled back into the pattern. I would have loved to see a lower high, touching this as resistance, and then we could have got a really nice entry. But instead, it pulled back into the pattern, right? Gave us this ascending triangle, and then started printing these higher lows, right? These higher lows, kind of surging a little bit higher on the slower time frame. So let's go right to the 1 hour for a second. I want to show you guys something. So here's that little pattern, right? Tons of higher lows, higher highs, higher lows above the pattern. It's definitely bullish. Definitely looking to make a play to the upside. So honestly, this isn't too far away from an entry. I would look. We just got the MA cross. That's literally perfect. Honestly, any bullish setup right now could be enough to enter on. And then what I would do is put your stop loss below the prior higher low. Right here, about 25 pips if you entered right now. And then I would target up towards about 106.5, which is kind of the average resistance zone between all this price action here. It's a really good target. I didn't want to just target towards the next zone around 106.7. Didn't really want to do that. It's kind of far away. I wanted a closer, kind of more conservative target. Like if we go to the daily time frame, for this to pull back, it could pull back to this and still maintain this daily trend, right? It could pull back all the way to 106.7 and still maintain that bias. So we're looking long, definitely looking long, especially with DXY's recent rally with all this. Definitely looking bullish as hell. So we'll see how it reacts. Stay posted on this one. This one's definitely the closest to execution as far as what I'm looking at. Yeah, a couple confirmations. We'll see how it reacts in the next few hours. All right, so that's UJ. Let's move on to EJ. Daily time from the start. Super bullish, guys. Recently, this whole set of price action here, from all the way back in May to now, super bullish on the daily time frame. We were super bearish. Okay, so we already changed trends throughout this whole rally here. Nice higher low outside of this channel. That confirmed it. Price action rallied into a monthly zone at 126.5 and then reversed pretty well. It was a slow reversal. We kind of ranged for a while. Then we started printing some patterns, some lower highs. Eventually broke support at 124.3, shot lower, retested, consolidated in a bit of a rectangle pattern, and now is pulling back again. So this is actually 100% retracement, if you guys can see. Right, we fit from here to the low, from high to the low, pull back all the way to our 124.3 resistance zone, 200 EMA, and 100% retracement, fib retracement. So I anticipated this bouncing at this level, and it did here. We expected this to happen. Pulled back, and we got a nice bearish engulfing, and now, it's headed lower. But, it's still not really an entry for me. You really want to see it break kind of, a higher low, get back below this rectangle. I want to see something like this. So this is actually a really good sign. If we get a higher low, let me clear this up. I'll show you guys where you can enter in a second. Let me just draw this in. There's 124 flat, basically. So we had a nice little break here. Right, lower time frame break. Some very low time frame higher low right there. Broke lower, got a lower high, MA cross. So what you want to do is essentially, where is it? There it is. So you could enter on something like this. Maybe we get a nice little pullback, double top, enter on a bearish engulfing, evening star, exhaustion, something like that. Target lower. I would honestly target down towards 0%, back into this rectangle, potentially even lower towards negative 27. If I take a look at the 4-hour, does it make sense? If it continued this bearish trend, is this a reasonable target down here at 0% and negative 27? Yeah, I think it would be. I think it's very likely that if this were to continue lower, it would shoot down to these areas, 100%, because it needs to fill this new zone, this new range here. The only, we know we have tons of resistance. The only major support really is 0%, and then all the way down here, into this lower end of this range. So looking pretty good. Definitely could be a really good setup on EJ. Closer than, it could be pretty close to an entry. We'll see how it plays out in the next few hours here. But either way, we'll keep you guys updated on Discord, and especially in a premium analysis. And yeah, if we zoom out, this looks so nice, right? Looks really, really good. When it trends, it trends. When EJ, catches a direction, man, it really just starts running.
What, EJ? Yeah.
Yeah, so this could definitely be due for another drop. We'll see, though.
Yeah, earlier this week, EJ definitely did a little bit of running.
Yeah, it really did. And also, look how much it likes to range, guys. Like, once the volume's there, look at these swings. These swings are massive, to the upside, to the downside, to the upside, to the downside, just ranging and ranging within these huge zones. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, so we're going to finish off on gold, guys. Nice little pullback on gold happening. Daily time frame, guys. Bullish, right? Tell me different. Super, super bullish. Huge ascending triangle up at this high, just over 2K. So let's go down to the 4-hour and see what's going on. Here's that triangle. Super bearish. We thought this one had me, man. I really thought it was going to go long here. Gave us this nice rectangle pattern. I was waiting for a break and a higher low above this little rectangle. Never showed. Just gave us a lower high and then fell off a cliff. Broke through 1915, which was major support. It actually shot down to the 61.8, formed a double bottom, and found support at that level. Broke this prior lower high, gave us some lower time frame higher lows, and now is surging higher. So honestly, this thing's coming up to 1915. It's coming up to 1915. It's happening. Whether it reverses from this zone or it breaks through. We don't know yet. Right? This really is dependent on DXY, right? So we could see something like either one of these scenarios. So to enter long on this, you just want to see a higher low above 1915. You could enter on strong bullish subs after that, or just wait for rejection. Wait this out. Wait for some sort of rejection from 1915, and then look to enter on a continuation. So like this is what I mean, or enter on a break of a higher low. So let's say we just channeled. Whoops. Let's say we just channeled this out, so we could clearly see movement of price action here. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so follow me here. Watch, guys. So we're going to do if price action pushes up to 1915, right? So there's a higher low right there. You want to wait until you have a break of a higher low, enter on a lower high, and then target lower. It looks so nasty. Let me fix this for you guys. All right. Basically looking for this to occur right at this high. Boom. Okay, and that's where we would enter. Right on this lower high. Okay, and that's how you enter on the start of reversal, right as at the beginning of a transition. Okay. So that's what we're looking at for gold. Again, it could play to the upside. You're looking for the exact same thing, essentially. All right. So we would target towards 1800. Good fall off there. Could be a nice move. Let's do a quick recap. Covered DXY, covered AU, covered AJ, covered UJ. AJ looks crazy right now. Covered UJ, EJ, and gold.
Yep.
Okay.
So let's take a look real quick. Let's bump back over. So earlier in the session, we were looking at GU. We were looking at this rejection here, thinking it's going to fall off. Now this thing opened up in the, so obviously the US session's opening right now, pretty much 8:30. 8:30, some news hit on US. And this thing is pumping. This thing's coming back into this range. So we cut losses here. We're not going to hold this thing all the way up into this level. So this rejection right here did not hold. This didn't hold. So this is just the reality of trading, guys. If you're taking entry and the following candle is bullish engulfing against your analysis, you got to get out. You got to get out, cut your losses short, and just be patient. Look for the next position. So just wanted to come back on GU. Look at all these pairs. It's popping back into this range. So we're going to have to replay this. So we're going to update this for you guys. All the analysis that we went over today, this is the end of this live session. We're not going to get back into it. But we will post some updates here in the chat. We'll post some updates in the premium analysis, and we'll keep you guys posted. The giveaway I'll announce in a little bit, and we'll get this live recording up soon. So thank you guys for sticking in on the meeting, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow for the next session, 8 a.m. EST, and we'll be back.
Oh yeah. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys.
Yep.
Happy trading. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Peace out.